if this makes this, then it's super kudos to the Bronco. Oh wow, that wheel is off the ground. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and I've been spending the last week with this absolutely adorable and, come on, admit it, super cool looking Ford Bronco Sport. This is a model that they made for 2023, and for the best I can tell, they've actually done away with for 2024, specifically this Bronco Sport Heritage Limited trim. And I'm not really sure why. I don't know if they're going to be bringing it back and it's just not in the build configurator or what. But what I suspect is that there isn't a huge market for people who want the very standout appearance here of this robin's egg blue paint and the cool heritage Bronco up front and everything. Bronco grill, I should say. But also this one, being the limited trim, still packs all the off-road abilities of the Badlands edition model, as the best I can tell. We've got things like the Falcon Wild Peak all-terrain tires, which have worked quite well while we've had it. We've done some pretty gnarly off-road stuff, and we'll do a little bit in this video as well. We've got the tow hooks. We've got the bash plates underneath, which we've also been putting to the test. We've got the off-road kind of more advanced suspension and more advanced clutch packs in the rear, the four-wheel drive system, really making this a capable off-road machine despite its adorable looks from the outside and the pretty classy looks on the inside. Taking a look here, look at this cool leather, a very faint plaid within the brown leather here, some red cross stitching that looks quite good. Yeah, I mean, this is a really cool blend between style and capability and actually features as well. That's what I've been noticing spending more and more time with it, is that there are features in this car, things like dual pane glass and auto up and down windows for all four windows, that I'm like, okay, so yes, it is commanding a price premium, and let's get out of the way. You will have already seen it down below here in the video. This one, as you're looking at it, costs $46,000, but at least they're giving you things for that cost. I mean, it's going to cost them a lot of money right up front to do the off-road suspension, to do all the bash plates and the extra tires and the tow hooks and everything. So at least they're not totally screwing you over by charging you for all that stuff and then not giving you at least some of the accoutrement that you would be expecting for a car that's getting close to $50,000. On top of that, you got things like a pretty darn good 10-speaker B&O sound system. We've got a dedicated review to that. Check the link below. We've got Ford Sync 3 infotainment that is getting a little bit dated. The one feature I would like to have in this car that we do not is wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. I really hope they can get that in here soon. And then you've got some fun things in the back, like, check this out. When's the last time you've ever seen this in a car? A little mat pocket here in the seat back that's zippered, and it actually is soft and kind of styled inside there. So yeah, the way I see it is this provides a little bit of functionality and style. So it looks cool. You can see it there, kind of like a little zippered bag or purse, as my mother put it. But then things are actually secured in here and out of sight for people if you wanted to store something in there. You got a little bit more room than a map pocket, kind of conventional one, and then you can zip it up. Also back here, you're looking at rear vents. That's not something that you get in all the cars in this class. You've got power points back there, as well, a wall-style outlet that goes up to 400 watts. Just enough knee room and headroom for a 5'10" individual such as myself. I had my family riding back here all week, and they've been comfortable. Check this out, too. Little cell phone slot pockets right here in the side. So a place if you're doing some off-roading and riding around, you can slide your phone into there. Even my full-size S23 Ultra fits in there without problem. So they've really gone a long way into thinking, how can we make this car worth the price point and more than just an off-roady sort of car. But it's possible that Ford didn't quite see the demand for this higher spec off-roader heritage version of the Bronco Sport, and maybe that's why they got rid of it for 2024, because they do still have the normal heritage model. So you can still get kind of these looks, but without all the off-road chops and without all the features as well. So it's coming in much, much more reasonably priced. I think mid to low 30s for that one. And admittedly, that's, I don't know, that's probably the way I'd go, but this has been really cool to have the capability of hitting potholes, hitting dirt roads, hitting pretty intense stuff, and just taking all of it with ease. So let's go for a little drive. I'm actually going to head up there to a little bit of the foothills of the mountains, because there's a little bit of an off-roady section that I want to show you the pretty cool capabilities of this Bronco Sport. Like I said, the only thing that's been a frustration with my time here in the Bronco Sport is just the wired Apple Carplay and Android Auto. So instead of having a nice, sleek, cleaned up interior here with my phone down on the optional wireless device charger, instead I've got this cable running through the cabin and kind of cluttering everything up, but at least there's this cool spot to put your device or other things right there in the middle. Ergonomics are well thought out in the car. For a smaller driver or a larger driver, you shouldn't have any problem fitting yourself in here. We've got an 8-way power adjusted seat, manual tilt and telescoping steering wheel. The volume controls are physical and they're within easy reach of myself here. Also physical tuning controls and HVAC controls. Love to see that standard straightforward layout. This is a powertrain that they use in a lot of different Ford products. It's the 2-liter turbocharged engine, making about 250 horsepower and about 200 pound-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. I, for one, am remarkably familiar with this powertrain because I had the same one in my Ford Maverick XLT with the 4K tow package and the FX4 package. So essentially, I had this car, but not quite as fancy and with a pickup truck bed. And hey, that engine powertrain combination was great for the whole time we had it, except for when it wasn't, and we were towing up near our 4,000 pound tow rating across the country, and the wastegate stopped building boost. So it actually had a wastegate malfunction, needed a new one. That was at about 20,000 miles. So that was disappointing for that to happen. It was inconvenient. I mean, obviously it was fixed under warranty, but it was a large inconvenience to be without our car for about a month and have to ship it all the way back out here to California from where it broke down. But from a working perspective, this powertrain works well. My only complaints with it are you do notice some jerky shifts, kind of if you get off the gas and then back onto it. You can, especially at lower speeds, you feel the transmission kind of clunking back and forth in certain situations. Nathan noticed it a lot from the passenger seat as well. And then I gotta say the fuel economy as well is a disappointment, only because of knowing what you can get with other off-roady sort of vehicles that might not have the explicit capability of this Bronco Sport, but for most people in day-to-day use, they're not going to notice any different. And what comes to mind is the Toyota RAV4 Woodland Edition. That's a hybrid Toyota RAV4, and when we had it, we had no problem getting high 20s, low 30s in fuel economy, and that still has all-terrain tires, and it had roof racks on top, and some off-road capabilities. Again, nothing near what this Bronco Sport is capable of, but I just don't see a lot of people getting a compact crossover like this and then pushing it to where it's capable of. Now I am going to be running the Bronco Sport here through our highway fuel economy test. You can check the link below for that. I'm doing it tonight actually, so I can't exactly report on what it's like in the real world for highway driving, but it's been difficult for me to achieve over 20 miles per gallon in day-to-day driving. I think if I were doing more highway, we'd be able to achieve more of the EPA kind of low 20s, mid to low 20s fuel economy. I think it's just because of my mixture here of filming and idling and running the AC and going up and down these hills and doing the off-roading. Filming these videos is not conducive to good fuel economy. But if you're willing to take that hit in fuel economy, you're going to be really impressed with the chutzpah of this engine and powertrain. You've got paddle shifters if you're into that sort of thing, aka if you're Christopher Brower. But for all the rest of us, you can simply put your foot down and this thing pulls this little SUV hard. It's really satisfying. And just in day-to-day driving, the engine doesn't really have to gear down a lot and scream out in order to push you away. You really get a lot of thrust with this turbocharger. And if it's not enough for you in normal mode, you have this dial down here that says GOAT modes. Interestingly, it doesn't stand for go over all terrain. It stands for go over all types of terrain. So really it should be like GOAT modes. But either way, it says GOAT modes. And you can rotate this dial. A little screen comes up on the dash, shows you normal, eco, sport, slippery, mud and ruts, sand, and rock crawl for the drive mode. So if you go back to sport, gauge turns red, you hear a little bit of fake noise pumped in through the speakers, and it essentially pushes the car a little bit harder without you having to push down as far on the accelerator pedal. Opposite happens when you go down into eco. Then you really got to push on the accelerator pedal to get the car to get up and go. It feels much more sluggish. Theoretically, that's going to get you not driving quite as quickly and accelerating as hard, thus saving you a little bit of fuel. Another silly annoyance to me. This is just a standard sunroof, but it's powered. It's a powered shade here. So instead of me being able to just simply reach up, open it, and close it, I've got something that adds weight, cost, and complexity up here when it doesn't need to. If it were a full panoramic sunroof, I get that, because you can't reach all the way back. So that's kind of silly to me. But here we are onto the dirt road that leads to some of our good off-roading here. I'm not going to do a full off-road video here on the Bronco Sport, but right down the street here is some kind of a cool off-roady section. I want to be able to show you just how capable this little car is off the showroom floor, and how I don't think most people are going to use it for that. I'm actually going to hop out and show you, honk, how steep this is. It's tough for steepness of hills to show through on camera, but I'm hoping that maybe from outside you're going to be able to see how gnarly this is. So we've got exposed rock, we've got a pretty substantial incline right here, and it's definitely something that will require four-wheel drive and the right amount of ground clearance, and it's also not a very large area, so a big vehicle would have trouble getting through this spot. This route right here is even gnarlier. I don't think it would be a good idea to bring the Bronco Sport through this. Definitely get some scrapes from these trees here. I don't know though. I actually might be able to take this too. I think this one might be worth trying too. It's definitely, it's gonna be a test right here. And then come up here, and maybe you could do it. We're gonna find out together, ladies and gentlemen. What's weird is this color is so vibrant and bright and cute, and when you're off-roading like this, people don't expect you to know what you're doing, because it looks like just a little Barbie car. So we're gonna start by going over here all the way to rock crawl mode. That's actually going to lock our rear diff, lock us into four-wheel drive here, and I'm going to turn traction control off as well. So first, for the section I know we can achieve unscathed, drive would be useful. And when you're in rock crawl mode, you get the front-facing camera that comes up, and a pretty good resolution. It's better resolution than the last Tacoma I was in. Yeah. you just let it do its thing, and it's remarkable what it's capable of. Short body, so it doesn't really have a ton of clearance you got to make in the middle there. All right, now we're going to test out this section that I've never been on in any vehicle, and we're going to take it gingerly, see what we can do. Oh man, this looks really gnarly. All right, there's a little bit of that bash plate testing. Oh, I don't know if I like this. If this makes this, then it's super kudos to the Bronco. Ooh. I believe we have bottomed out that side of the car. Let's, can I stop it here safely? Okay, I think we're set. So these two wheels are on the ground. Yes, that's tough. The front wheel is essentially entirely off the ground, so we need to come back and hit it at a little bit more of that angle, and I think it can be done. Shit. I don't know if I can do this without a spotter. Okay. Whew. That was nerve-wracking. Let me hop out one more time here. Oh wow, that wheel is off the ground. Okay. There we go, little Bronco. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Can we get out now? Last hill. You can see how tall it is by the hood of the Bronco. Brake over. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Whew, that one had me scared there for a minute, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna take a little inventory on the car here and wrap this up. So that's what I mean about this thing is so gosh darn capable. And I think that Ford probably just found that people who wanted the cute and the cool looking aesthetic of this Heritage Edition weren't pushing their Broncos to that crazy wheel off the ground sort of ability, because man, that's really darn cool. What do we like down here? I think we're okay. I think definitely a little bit of scrapage, but nothing the car is not meant to handle. Woo! Okay, well thank you all so much for watching. Thanks to Ford for giving us such a cool product. I mean, gosh, I would love having this around and lift it up maybe an inch or two and then just have it as a daily driver and then be able to go tackle things like this and impress people. The way the car is built is actually really, really capable. So thank you all so much for watching. If you do want to see more on the Bronco Sport, check the link in the description. We're always happy to have one around. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, Robin's Egg Blue Off-Roader on.